Anyway. Okay. Today, the 5-step problem solving plan. Okay. All right. So we've talked about different solving techniques, and now we're going to solve multi-step problems using the 5-step problem solving plan. So the first thing is the most important one. Familiarize yourself with the problem situation. Then you're going to translate it into some sort of an equation, solve that equation, check the answer within the original problem, and then state the answer. The biggest one is familiarizing yourself and then figuring out how to put it into an equation. So when you familiarize yourself with the problem, if the problem is given in words, read it carefully. Reread the problem, possibly out loud. Okay? Try to verbalize the problem as though you were explaining it to someone else, because you learn the most when you explain to somebody else. Choose the variables to represent the unknowns. Be descriptive. For example, let L be length, let D be distance, and so on. Make a drawing if you need to. If you have like this field, this rectangular pasture needs to be fenced, what should you draw? A rectangle. Okay? So put on the information that you need. Indicate unknown information. Okay. Look and see if there's any further information in the problem. If you need to look up a formula or a definition, might need to do that. Geometry formulas, sometimes you don't know them all. Create a table if you need to, and then think of a possible answer and take a guess, and then check your guess once you get the answer right, because sometimes you make an estimate and then you get an answer that's not even close to your estimate. You go, well, I must have did some sort of math wrong. So what's the first step? B, familiarize yourself. What's the third step? D, translate it into an equation. The third step is solve the equation. Yeah, second step is translate it into equation. The third step is solve the equation. What's the last step?
Did you say it was wrong?
Yeah.
I said D. He said D. D was wrong.
D was wrong. Solve the equation is the third step.
I
First,
said D.
yeah, and it's wrong. And it's wrong.
It's not wrong.
Step number 1 is this. Step number 2 is this. Step number 3 is this.
I thought it was the second step.
4, 5, and then the third step. And then the fifth step. All right. The price Abigail paid for a snowboard, $99, is less than what Dan paid by $12. So you have Abigail and Dan. Okay? Now, the price Abigail paid minus is 12 less than what Dan paid. So Abigail is 12 less than Dan, or Dan minus 12. Okay? So Abigail, the amount she paid is Dan minus 12. So then if we add 12, we get 111 is what Dan paid. Okay? Write the equation, solve your equation, state your answer. A 136-inch board is cut into 2 pieces. So the whole thing is 136 and cut into 2 pieces, there and there. One piece is 3 times the length of the other. So if one is x, the other one is 3x. So together they should add up to, and you guys can solve that. The estimated loss from a hurricane was $21.3 billion. There was 13.4 billion more than the loss from a tsunami 3 years later. What was the estimated insurance loss from that tsunami? Okay, So the hurricane was 21.3. So the hurricane plus 13.4 equals the tsunami. Okay? So 21.3 plus 13.4 equals a tsunami. The numbers of two consecutive numbered gym lockers as of sum of 141. So one number, what's the next consecutive number after X? X plus 1. Mallory, put your phone away. Okay? So 2x plus 1 equals 141. 2x equals 140. So x equals 70. So the gym lockers are 70 and 71. If you check your answer, 70 plus 71 adds up to 141. Edna, Ellie, and Elsa are consecutive integers. The sum of their ages are 108. So Edna is x, Ellie is x plus 1, and Elsa is x plus 2. And then you add and solve. The sum of three consecutive odd integers is 195. If one odd integer is x, how do you get to the next odd integer? You add. How do you get from 31 to 33? You add by 2. How do you get to a third odd integer? You add by 4. Okay? So consecutive odd integers aren't just odd numbers here. They're x plus 2, and x plus 4 equals 195. So 3x plus 6 equals 195. 3x equals 189. Divide by 3. X equals 63. So x is 63. The next odd number is 65. The next odd number is 67. 63 and 67 add up to 130, plus 65 is 195. The perimeter of a basketball court is 90 meters, and the length is 6 meters longer than twice the width. So the perimeter formula is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. They say the length is, so L is 6 meters longer than twice the width. Okay? So you replace the perimeter with 90. You replace L with what L is equal to, 6 plus 2W. And then you leave 2W as 2W. And then you can solve. So 90 equals 12 plus 4W plus 2W. So if you subtract 12, 78 equals 6W. Divide by 6. W equals 13. So the width is 13. If you stick 13 back in there, 2 times 13 is 26. Plus 6 is 32. Is 32 plus 32 plus 13 plus 13 equal to 90? Because this is 26, this is 64, that makes 90. Amy paid $65.38 for a pair of running shoes on a 20% off sale. So the full price equals the price minus 20% of the price. The final price, let's go final price, equals the original price minus 20% of the original price. So 65.38 equals 0.8 times the price. So if we divide by 0.8, now 0.8 goes into 65.38. If we move the decimal over one place, 8 goes into 65 8 times with 64. We're left over with 13. 8 goes into 13 once, 8 with 58 left over. 8 goes into 58. Probably 7 times to give us 56 with the 2 left over. 8 goes into 20 2 times. 16 with a 4 left over, and that. 81.72, 725. So probably, round to the nearest cent, $81.73. Including 6% tax and in charges, $150 a night. So what is the cost before tax is added? So the final price equals the price plus 6% sales tax, or 6% of the price. Okay. So the final price, 159, equals, what's 1 plus 106? What's 1 plus 0.06? 1.06 times the price. So we divide by 1.06. So we take 159 divided by 1.06. Well, you have to move the decimal point over 2 places. So 106 goes into 109 once. And we get 530. 106 goes into 530 5 times, and you get 530. And then you have a 0 before the decimal point. So it must be $150. In a triangle, the measure of the first angle, so the first angle is 2 times the measure of the second angle. So if we make the second angle x, the first angle would be 2x. If we make the third angle is 80 more than the measure of the second angle. So it's 80 plus the x. What do these three angles add up to in a triangle? 180. X plus 2x plus 80 plus x equals 180. So 4x plus 80 equals 180. 4x equals 100. X equals 25. So the second angle is 25. The first angle is 2 times that, which is 50. And the third angle is 80 more than 25, which means it's 105.
Hey, I need to answer this call from the South Dakota Board of Regents.
You may.
Thanks. Hello.
And then this one is done the same way. You add up these three to make 180. Okay? So that's what your assignment's going to look like today. So we are getting just slightly more difficult than the adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing that we started out the year with.